I've got some bad news for producers. So if you're making beats, right, a lot of you would love to get on a #1 album, to get your beats on a #1 album. And so we're going to use the Summer Walker album as an example. It debuted at #1 on the hip hop and R&B charts. It debuted at #2 on the overall Billboard Top 200. That's a big deal. It sold over 77,000 units its first week. So if you had gotten a track on that album, if that was your first placement and you debuted at #1 on the top rap charts, you might think, okay, I should quit my job. I'm good now. I'm going to be making a lot of money. Even if you produced a record, even if it was a lead single, even if you didn't sample, you owned all of your equity, you still likely couldn't afford to quit your job at that point. And some producers from that album are going viral for admitting to either not being able to pay their rent or still working day jobs, in spite of having produced on this #1 album or even having written songs on the #1 album. And as someone who had a beat on a #1 album that debuted on #1 on all the charts, yet still had 3 day jobs simultaneously, I'm not surprised, but I am glad that this is coming up so we can talk about it. So let's break down exactly why these producers still have day jobs in spite of being on an incredibly successful project.
This is producer on Summer Walker's, I'm assuming the latest project. She's talking about her experience and kind of maybe her expectation and kind of versus reality. But go back, Payne. I'm just gonna read it for people that may just be listening to this. And what is this young lady? What is her name?
This is what I don't like. She's the only woman with production credits on Summer Walker's newest album, and of course she's not tagged anywhere. And this is that shit that, you know, shout out all these news aggregator platforms, but they don't tag people.
Yeah, that's all bad. And we should have done the research. I should have done the research, and
I did. I couldn't find. Well, let me just dig through the album credits. Let me find.
So I need to be able to see that caption that was on the screen. I think it's the next slide. You just gotta go there.
This one, yeah.
So point of view, you're the only female producer on Summer Walker's album, but still can't make rent next month. Black women deserve better. Anybody else? I can start just from.
I agree that black women deserve better. This is a very specific situation, though.
Yeah, I don't know who else she produces for, but I know that a lot of and I don't know her, so I don't know if this is her perspective. Again, we use these videos, or at least I use these videos to kind of draw out what I know is common amongst the producer or music community. And I know a lot of producers still think that they just need one placement, right? And that's typically not the case. Like much like an artist still needs more than one song, unless that song is Old Town Road, right?
Right.
So if you have the expectation that you're gonna land one placement, I don't care whose album it's on, and you're going to make enough money to never have to pay rent again, that's like trying to hit the lottery for real. Most of the producers, Payne as a great example, you know, has placements on a lot of music, a lot of, you know, signed artists, independent artists, but he also leases beats via Beatstars. He also has Beat Campus, you know, so he has the education piece. And I think that's how you have to approach music. Whether you're an artist or a producer, you have to have multiple streams of income. You have to build a brand and bring in money from different places, because the expectation that you're going to make one song or contribute to one song and not have to pay rent is wild at this point.
Yeah.
What's her name, Payne?
I can't find. I'm looking through the production credits right now.
I tried to Google it, and Google was like, "There's not one specifically named." Okay,
oh, I found her name.
Find it.
I found it.
And what song is it on? That can you Can you see the song that she's on?
Yeah, you're doing what my mom does, asking me all these questions. I'm struggling. Let me.
What is it, Michaela Yayan? I can't say that. I don't know.
I think it's Michaela.
Makylie? Okay, shout out McKiley.
And she produced a song called Number One featuring Brent Faiyaz. And it looks like a co-production.
Oh, that's
situation.
the one she was playing it on screen because I heard Brent and I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Okay, I need to.
Okay,
and she's on Beatstars too, so she does have multiple streams of income. It looks like.
But this song has 7 million streams on Spotify so far.
Yeah, which is, it's a good number. It's just, I want to show you something else too, just to put things into perspective. This is directly from Summer Walker. So it's not just the producers. This is just a reality check for everybody that's trying to get in the industry. And I heard this story. I heard this about Summer Walker, that she was working a lot of different jobs even after her record deal. I mean, shit.
Yeah,
when I got my first,
was like, we're not flying with that, and gave her a check.
Yeah. No, that is what happened. Her label just said, all right, we just have to pay you to stop working. Because when you're at the point that Summer Walker was at, it's a job is restrictive. There's a point in your career where your job does become restrictive. I just don't, most people quit their jobs before that point. They're just like, I should have, I had my first, because I was dumb. I think everyone has high expectations, unrealistically high expectations, because that's just kind of the narrative that we get fed, especially through social media. You see all these people. No, very few people are going to do what McKiley did and post something that reflects poorly on her own financial situation in spite of people's perceived success, because you're on an album that's performing well. It's at 100 million streams, or it hit 100 million streams first week. That's only $400,000 though. So when you consider that maybe there was a $5,000, $10,000 per beat production budget for the album, you're a co-producer, so you're getting a fraction of that, and you have to recoup at a reduced rate because you're splitting 3% among three people. So your recoupment is 1 point rather than 3 points. And Summer Walker has to recoup at 16. So no one's getting paid off that on the sound recording side. And then you have to consider, all right, well, even if there's money coming in on the mechanical royalty side and the PRO side, that's on like a 9-month delay minimum. So the album dropped November. We're not at the 9-month mark yet. So they're going to start seeing the money. That's just the reality. I had 3 jobs when I got my first platinum plaque, and everyone thought I was rich. I made $4,000 off that record, and that was it. And that was it. I had to find a way to leverage that to get my foot in different doors and make more money off of, as you said, Dame, different royalty streams. If you're someone like a London on the track, or, I think Troy Taylor's on the project, you don't need a day job. You're good. You're amazing at what you do. You've set yourself up so that you can you can thrive off of doing one thing, which is producing songs. But that's rare. The majority of us have to do a lot of different stuff. We have to wear different hats.
I think I think she may be aware of that, considering that she's on Beatstars. You know what I'm saying? I think this could be just a creative way for her to promote that she's a Summer Walker producer and then leverage that to get more money. If she's producing for Summer Walker, she's either new to the game and got lucky, which doesn't seem like that, or she's been in the game for a minute and just knows the grind. She might have been frustrated, which no doubt could happen, by how little came of it. Like even if she made 10K on the beat and let's say they did their paperwork right, and hopefully LVRN and the bigger label that they're on is paying people out right away. So if she got paid in November or December, or even when they knew that beat was going to make it to the project, I could see by February being like, dang, I can't even make rent. Cause it's like, especially if you get a $10,000 check, especially if you're on a project like Summer Walker, especially at the end of the year, you're going to go spend a little bit of money, whether it's catching up on bills because the end of the year is hard, or you want to take a little vacation because you're very proud of a big accomplishment, which it is.
Yeah.
I could see that being gone. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're paying 20K, like that's not money to live off of. And then, like you said, now to make the back end royalties at a 1 to 2% rate just off of that one song split between multiple producers, there's not much for you there. But I think this may just be her promoting herself, because one of my homies, Slim Wave, I've referenced him a lot of times. He's one of her Summer's key producers. I think he has 4 tracks on this project.
Yeah, he's dope.
Like every time she records, they always go into the studio together because she likes working with Slim. But Slim just MD'd Lil Wayne's tour. He's currently the MD for 4Bat's tour. He musically directed Doechie's Tiny Desk, Kevin Hart's Tiny Desk, Summer Walker's Tiny Desk, what's her name, Keeble's Tiny Desk. Like he's working year round. He's either touring or he's doing musical direction from his house. He's doing live arrangements. He did a bunch of live arrangements for the Grammys, Billboard Awards, whatever. And so like, as one of the most talented producers that I know, very incredible human, still plays at his church too when he's in town on Sundays. He is working consistently. Now, Slim, not pocket watching. Slim makes money though. Like Slim makes the type of money that I think most people think if I just get one track on a major album, it's up. He makes that type of money, but I remember when Slim was also like hoping that he could get $250 a gig doing like live band. He's in a live band too called Band of Brothers. They were hoping that each member could get $250 per gig. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I've known Slim since back then. So it's like, it's a slow grind. Like even for me, again, I shared at the top of this, like I'm so grateful for the position that I'm in. Even financially, I'm still like, I considered a month ago, like, should I lift again? Do you know what I'm saying? And that's not like, no shame to anybody still doing that. But like, I genuinely was like, should I be lifting again? And then I was like, maybe I could send out a few emails and make a little bit more money, figure it out. And one thing came from my org and I'm hoping some other things come through. But like, even for me, I think I make, especially when my company's like decent money and paying bills these days, paying taxes, paying for all of accountants, bookkeepers, whatever, just for me to live like as a business owner. And then the type of lifestyle that I have, it's not easy to make it make sense. And I think you just have to have multiple streams of income, especially in this day and age.
People have day jobs and fuck their money up. People have day jobs with 401k matches and health insurance and regular paychecks, and they're still in debt. So consider somebody who's making music and relying on the quarterly royalty payouts and uncertainty and this and that, on top of having to be the one to coordinate your accounting, to no retirement, no health insurance. You have to handle your taxes. It's crazy. And I don't know why I didn't say this earlier. My best friend produced, or co-produced one of Summer Walker's hit singles from her last album. And he has a day job. I've interviewed him before. And like, granted, he fucks his money up. Just plain and simple, he does. When he has money, he spends it all. When he doesn't, he gets a day job. But it's a cycle that a lot of musicians are stuck in. And he never had, I can retire money. And, you know, from the outside looking in, you're like, you have a hit single. And?
Yeah. I just want to say for her, I do believe Black women deserve better, but I don't know if this is an issue about Black women deserving better. So I think that she merged the two, but maybe she didn't get paid like she thought. Maybe she feels like people aren't booking her or hiring her as a producer like she wanted to. I don't know. I hope she succeeds though, because clearly she's a talented producer. I hope she works with more people. Maybe she could start sending beats to Room and Board and getting placements in sync. But yeah, shout out to her. But I think it may be just a creative way to promote herself, to be honest.
Yeah, but that was like really, that was really serious. I was with you on, you know, because both her and the other gentleman from the project, they made similar kind of meme-like videos about not being paid and they're at their day jobs. I'm like, yeah, that's to spread awareness. But yeah, the final line, Black women deserve better. That's serious.
Yeah, I mean, again, sound with the little research that we did, my comments, our comments are never typically about like her. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know about her and her journey. But for the producers watching this, just know we've said this many times before, multiple streams of income. If you can lock in with an artist early and grow with them and produce their whole project or several songs on their project and continue to do that, that's ideal. But we just want to make sure that your expectations are realistic going into this, or you guys will be very disappointed when you do get a big placement and then, nothing really happens after that.